любит тех, кто все тебя любят.
Это вот сейчас, кстати, Вероника написала, типа, я вроде крузмастером должна быть. Такая, это надо эти кукисы покупать. Потом такая, я говорю, слушай, извини, но я нашла наша Коля.
Да.
Я говорю, я забыла про тебя, извини. Она такая, слава богу. Но крузмастер, в принципе, очень легкий.
Да, я вот эти динамичные, все.
Late, and I asked her to stay with my daughter, and she just agreed. And I thought, I assumed she will say, no, I can't, I'm so busy, I have this, and she said, no worries, I'll come, you are in need. And I didn't realize that I didn't ask, so I had this inside me, I had this feeling of her not supporting me, but actually she was always ready to support me, I just didn't ask. And through that, I realized that she is maybe waiting for me to call her and ask for this help, and she's ready to come and support me. So things like that. I don't know if it's easier.
No. I was more
For 5
on
minutes
the operational side, like in the but it takes you longer because probably you do it in two, so it actually takes time to explain. If you do it by yourself, you record what you think, and it takes first 1 minute.
I think it's really critical, to Valeria's point, it's critical to do it with somebody else, so you can explain more in deep dive, like in what it is. Please, Tanya.
When you are practicing it with your colleagues, do you share with each other like the personal things or general? So, for instance, can it be like, I'm very grateful for shining sun, or I'm very grateful to have a great family members, or it can be either or. How does it?
Yeah, thanks for your question. Thanks for your question, and that's also a tricky one. Maybe you should. I'm thinking to have to do this exercise maybe with different people as well, because there are different levels of gratefulness you can express to different people. Okay, my colleague at work, he's a friend, so we have a we know a lot of things about each other, so we can share certain things. It's not colleagues, just one colleague, so I don't think it's nice to do it in a group of people. I think it's still very intimate act, and it feels like you need to trust the person, right? Even if you filter what you're going to share, you have to trust. You don't know how, so it's important. And then to your question, what kind of things we can share? Things like weather or winter, it was in our list, because when winter came, the first snowfall, I was super happy. And actually, I shared and said, I'm happy, I'm grateful that I live in the country where I have the 4 seasons. And it lightens my day because I see the nature in its, in its beauty.
Miles, good question. I suppose Miles.
Miles?
Thank you. Thank you, Olga. A very nice speech. And it reminds me of a saying that I just recently heard, particularly when children say it. It's very impactful. And the statement is, it's not about the destination, it's all about the journey. And it's all about it's all about the journey is our attitude towards life. And so I very much appreciate your speech today. I think we get hung up on arguing about facts, and as opposed to thinking about, well, what should we be creating as attitude? So your speech very much connected to me with that, and I thank you. And any other thoughts you have?
Thank you so much, Miles. No, actually, I can build on what Miles said. It's the process in itself is it's like a journey for me. It's a discovery of who I am and what the world is, what people surrounding me, who they are for me. So yeah, with that, I would like to thank you for your attention and for your very nice questions. And please, if you're more interested, please come and we can discuss. And I will be happy if somebody will, after today, will start this practice yourself. Thank you so much.
Now I guess we have 10 minutes break.
10, do you think?
5, 4.
Okay, so that's 5.
Okay, and we will have 6 minutes break if I tell that you can donate 100 ruble for this club. You can do it in person or online. All the information you can find here in our agenda. So the break.
Guys, please hear
Yeah, thank you. It's okay.
It's okay.
No, it's okay.
I'm just helping you.
Okay, so let's start our second part of the meeting. And I would like to invite our table topic master. It's, I will say it in Italian, Martino Bracciavento.
Brava.
So, a question for you. There are a lot of books here, right? So, what book do you want to read from this library?
From this library, wow. I don't know what books are here, but I guess there are no business books. Probably Dostoevsky. I read Idiot. I read Brother Karamazov. Messed it up. And Crime and Punishment. Yeah. Oh.
Right. And now I leave you here on the stage for the table topic session.
Thank you. So let's move expeditiously to the table topic session now. What is table topic about? Table topics is gonna give us the chance to train our impromptu speeches, our improvised speeches. So imagine very often you are pulled in something you have to speak. You know, maybe your boss calling you and you have to give a quick brief about what is the status of the project or the call that was yesterday. You have 1 or 2 minutes to explain it, be very on point. So, or I don't know, anything that you pull in and it's unexpected, and you basically need to sort out the situation and be brief, provide a good summary, and make yourself well understood. All right, so basically what it's about, I have a list of questions that I will ask. Everyone, so we have volunteers. If there are no volunteers, I will choose the volunteers. I'm very democratic in that sense. And so people come on stage, you have from 1 minute 30 is the minimum to 2 minutes. So basically 2 minutes, our counter, a counter is gonna, our timer is gonna show the yellow card. So 2 minutes and a half, you tick down. All right, so a few things to bear in mind when we deliver a speech. So the general recommendation say that a structured speech should have an opening, a body, and a conclusion. So an opening is usually to grab people's attention. It's good to have a statement, so people think about it. But question, for instance, you ask a question, they immediately caught into to your speech. Psychologists say that the first 5 seconds are the most important of for especially people that don't know it. So then the body is when you elaborate with your thought, you explain, especially if you provide a story and a personal story, even better, because people we are basically we love story. People in the prehistory they used to sit around the fire and tell stories. So if the more you tell a story about yourself and what you experience, the better. And then the last part is summary. So you just quickly in 1-2 sentences summarize what your thoughts. All right. This being said, I think we can move to the. So we have literature today. So my questions are going to be related to literature and books. So please be prepared. Volunteers? some expedite volunteer. Valeria. Valeria and Olga. Okay. All right, so I will choose the question. Have you read
All right, fine.
Have you read Dostoevsky?
I mean, a long, long time ago.
All right. Have you read Tolstoy? Karenina. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, all of this was before I
was born.
yeah, before I was born. Yeah, in my mom's
Alright.
room, I was reading this literature.
Okay, you read it. So my question is, how do you perceive the character of Anna Karenina? Does it
Can I unvolunteer myself?
does it depict thoroughly the female gender or not?
Oh my God, wow.
It's a literature, right? So how do you perceive the character of Anna Karenina?
Mhm.
Does it thoroughly depict the female gender or not? Valeria. Depict. Describe.
Amazing. Thank you, yes. Thank you for a crazy question. This is where my improvisation used to kick in, my improvisation skills. Okay, first of all, I feel like it's very difficult to depict a whole gender in one character, because gender, as we know, can be very fluid these days. And what it means to be a woman in the present day is very different to what it was back when the book was written. I mean, so I feel like it was a good depiction for the time, but right now there is things that we can take from it, but also things that are very difficult to relate to, because as I mentioned, gender is fluid. It changes with the century, it changes with cultures, and it changes with locations. If I was asked my personal opinion, does it depict the female gender? I would say no. It depicts a person's opinion of what a woman is. But for me, the answer would be no. Thank you.
Thank you, Valeria, for your expedited explanation.
Of the female gender.
All right, so no, don't worry. This was not the most difficult. This was not the most difficult. So, any volunteer from even online?
Miles is going to
Miles. Okay.
Mr. Table Topics Master, may I make a nomination? I would like to hear from Mr. Jafeth Massau, if he would take the opportunity to take Table Topics and tell us a little bit about himself.
He's inviting someone.
Thank you. I accept the nomination. I accept the volunteering.
Okay, very good. Okay, so for you, basically, I created a set of questions that are Russian specific, let's say. So I will go for more for the general ones. And I think easy. What is your best writer and why? Author. What is the best author book and why? Mr. Massau.
Thank you very much. I like reading a lot, and it's interesting you've asked me that question. I have several writers that I really like, and it's difficult for me to choose, but if I was pushed to a corner, I'll choose Brian Tracy, because I like business books, and Brian Tracy writes a lot of topics on the subject of business, self-development. And the book I like most is How the Best Leaders Lead. Because when I was growing up, My father used to tell us we should strive to become leaders because the world desperately needs leaders. There are many followers, but very few leaders. And my father used to tell us, if you become a leader, you can make a meaningful contribution to the world. With this background, I had this aspiration to become a leader and a good leader. And I read a lot on the topics of leadership, business development, and Brian Tracy is right there, top of the list. What I like about him is he does a lot of research. And when you read a book, you want to find a book that has a lot of research behind it, gives you a lot of information with which you can grow, and it's just not just fluffy material. And that's why I love the writings of Brian Tracy. I'd recommend his book, How the Best Leaders Lead. And another one, Speak to Lead. Two books, How the Best Leaders Lead and Speak to Lead. Back to you, Topics Master.
Thank you. Thank you, Musa. Noted, both books. Thank you very much. All right. Anyone else? Katya, you stand up. Please. Diana. All right. You read Dostoevsky.
I did.
Okay, very good.
I'm doing
Run while you can.
Okay, if you were a character of Dostoevsky's book, who would you be and why? Yeah, should I repeat it or?
What's it do?
If you were a character of Dostoevsky's book, who would you be and why? Tatiana.
Not so long ago, last weekend, I went to the musical with my friend and we watched Crime and Punishment, and it was a modern version of that story, that classical story. And the story happened nowadays. That was the main idea of the musical, and that's what I like. And I went with a friend and she didn't like that. And she said, I didn't like the musical because the story is far away from the original one. And because this different, that different, and the happy end is not applicable to this kind of story at all. So I decided to read it again. And now I'm doing it. I'm reading Crime and Punishment. And I have to tell you guys, it's totally different story from what I read 20 years ago. And today I watched the interview with one literature blogger, and he clearly pointed the signs of classic literature. It's applicable for any time. So it's modern anytime. And the other thing is that the other sign of good classical literature, that each and every reader can find good and bad sides in each character of the book. So if I was a character, I think I could be anyone. Why not?
That's a good answer. Yeah.
All right. You guessed. I swear I will be easy, super easy, super easy.
Okay.
I was kidding. Have you read Master Margarita?
Yes, I read in school and in university.
Do you like it?
Yes. Yes, I like it.
Okay, next my question. What do you feel when crossing the tram rails or being at Patriarch Pond after having read Master Margarita?
I don't know about.
Should I repeat the question?
Yes.
So, what do you feel when crossing the tram rails? Yeah. Or when you are at Patriarch Pond. Yeah.
Anushka was in Чистые пруды.
Чистые пруды?
Yes. In Patriarchy, Voland meted Иван Бездомный.
Okay. So
Anushka, no, I don't remember.
okay. Let's just think about the rails.
it's not main problem.
And you want another question?
No, go with it.
Okay, she answered very quickly. Okay. All right. So, anyone else? Or anyone else ready to answer this question?
Oh, good.
Please. Should I
I'm
repeat?
not afraid of literature improvisation.
Should I repeat the question?
This one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. How do you? So, what do you feel when crossing the tram rails after having read Master Margarita?
Thank you for the great question. I adore this book, this novel, and actually I would like to say that I'm always thinking when I'm at Patriarchie Prudy about this case that happened in 1921, I guess, or 1922.
Yeah.
Even some literature analysts found out the year and exactly the date when it happened. So it was almost 100 years ago. And what I would like to say, because I like Moscow very much and I know something about the history of the city, that now there are no rails at Patriarchie Prudy, and 100 years ago, as far as I know, there were rails, but the rails were on the other side of Patriarchie Prudy, not exactly in this place when where Berlioz was decapitated. I don't know how to say this word. Cut his head out.
Tell it in French. Speak French.
After this terrible, horrible accident. And I should advise one more place in Moscow. It's situated near Pokrovka Street. There are also rails and pedestrian, trottoir. I don't know how to say it. Segment, yeah, just near the rails. And be careful when you are walking there, because the distance between rails is literally 1 meter. So now at winter, just one move and you are under the tram. Don't repeat this story, and be careful while walking in the streets.
Good explanation. All right. Any volunteer? Easy, just easy now.
Yeah, easy, because I'm more like, about American literature rather than Russian.
Okay. So
But who's going to tell me? I don't know.
Some
Oh, thank you.
volunteer?
Thank you. Someone else.
Thank you. Only an easy question, not about Russian literature.
No, yeah, easy. In what character of the literature you identify yourself and why?
Do you have some time to think?
You have 30 seconds. Yeah, I didn't mention it. Actually, you have 30 seconds to prepare. You want me to repeat the question?
No, I got you. Prince Charming. It's
Are you spotting your answer?
no, just oh my god, it slipped my mind. The name.
What the book? What's the book?
I'm ready. Yeah. Okay. So I guess that if we turn to the question, what kind of character you can associate yourself with, I think anyone can come up with an answer because it's so easy. Yeah. I mean, we read books, we read magazines, we read comics, whatever, and I think that when you read, something becomes a role that you figure, especially the character. And personally, I associate myself with Dorian Gray. Because, Dorian Gray, I think in terms of his personality, he's, on the one hand, he's so conceited, he's so arrogant. I mean, he becomes leader, right? And he, he's ready to indulge himself in all the, let's say, in all the full life which surrounds him. Yeah, and it's totally me. I mean, sometimes I come across as being this person, and a lot of people think, oh, she's so arrogant, she's so posh and so on. But on the other hand, I would say Dorian Gray proves to be broken inside. Yeah, he proves to have some traumas, And, you know, I think that with the help of all this conceit, with the help of all this, I mean, just indulgence, which he's ready to dive in, he tries to heal his soul. It's again me, because I have come, I would say, I have gone through lots of stuff in my life. Yeah, and maybe this helps me, you know, to put on this mask of a confident, conceited woman. And everyone, like, you know, like assumes that, yeah, she's something, but no one knows what is behind this beautiful picture. Thank you.
Last one, yeah? Okay, last volunteer. Just easy question. I ran out of difficult. Samira. No, Samira, you go. We should make 2 more minutes for Samira. All right. So 3, 6, or 8? 8. Just fiction. Fiction or non-fiction? Thrillers or comedy? What do you choose and why? Fiction or non-fiction? Thrillers or comedy? What do you choose and why? Nicolette.
When I was a bit younger, I always liked to read non-fiction because I think these books are quite important for you to succeed in your life, like business books, how to do something in a better way. But later on, I understood that in my personal case, it's more important to read as a way of diverting yourself, to have some pleasure, to enjoy your time. So later on, I started to read mostly fictional books, and I find a great pleasure at that. I also started to read one more time the books which I read at school, and at that time I didn't really understand what it was about, like the books of like Master Margarita. I reread it, I think, a couple of years ago. So I don't think that life is all about success and achieving goals. It's also important to have your some pleasures when you're back home from work. Yeah, just sit down and enjoy. That's it.
So we're out of time. Okay, with this being said, I thank everyone. I hope you enjoyed, and the easy questions, they were they were okay. It's time to vote. You will find a QR code on the agenda. Okay, so please just scan it, and you can vote for your favorite table topic, speech. Let's give 30 seconds for that, or
Yes.
case for them.
Okay, so thank you very much, Martina, for this table topic session. And we are going to start our last but not least session. It's evaluation session. And our general evaluator today is online. It's Jeff Masao. Please correct me if I haven't spelled your name well. As you are online, I have a question for you. So tell us, please, do you prefer electronic books or paper books?
Thank you. I kind of like both of them. I used to read paper books a lot, but I find electronic much better. I can read them anytime, anywhere. Now to the general evaluation. Every Toastmasters meeting is evaluated for the same reason that every school year ends with a report card. Well, in my part of the country, I don't know about over there, but every year we finish the school year, we have to get a report card, tells us how well we have done. As your general evaluator today, my role is to evaluate everything that happened in the entire meeting. And I'll give a report on what went particularly well and what didn't go so well and how we can improve. Before we get to that, I'd like to call upon our reports from our role takers, starting with the speech evaluators. Our first evaluator will be giving the feedback on Ana Gonzalez's speech, and this is Tatiana Gladisheva to give the evaluation of Ana Gonzalez's speech. The floor is yours.
Dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, dear Anna, thank you very much for an interesting speech. And I have to tell you, I even enjoyed small pre-moderation we had before your speech. I was glad to find out that you are reading children's books in Russian though. What a challenge. You went over technical issues we had at the beginning, and that is a good thing. But for the future, try to settle everything beforehand. So just to avoid this kind of situations. You explained the purpose of your speech very well. You mentioned what was the idea. You shared your presidency experience, which is also a very good thing to have, like your personal experience related to your topic. You explained us very well what the purpose of the mentorship. You have a very good visual aid. Visual aid. You had some humor in your speech, but let me remember one thing you mentioned once during after party. It's never enough drama in any speech, and honestly, in this speech, I didn't hear any drama from you. This is having drama, having like humor, nice, great stories, like everybody prepared to laugh. Seeing you on the stage from the very first time, and this time we are like kind of ready to laugh, and you gave us very good, structured, very well prepared, very serious speech. And I feel like I came to the restaurant and I prepared for dessert, and I didn't have it. So it's kind of like my opinion. It can be subjective, but for the future, keep in mind that this is your very strong side, and we always want you to be happy and translate your happiness to us.
Something new.
Okay, that is a good thing to have.
For the fun part, stick to the second speech is going to be.
Okay. Sounds good. Overall, I enjoyed your speech. I really liked it, but I still have that feeling, but dessert didn't came yet. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Tatiana. I now call upon our second evaluator to give us feedback on Valeria's speech, and this is Toastmaster Daniil. The floor is yours.
Lera is not the kind of easy person to give the sandwich to, because as we are supposed to kind of, for the newcomers, we're supposed to give the sandwich in the end. Start with something good, we're going to give a raw meat to chew in the meat, and finish with something good. And with the Lera, it's kind of a bit veggie. And it's really hard to evaluate this particular speech because probably don't know, but with this speech, Lera actually won the competition for the humor speech, and our club now is one of the best. So, yeah, but I still wanted to be helpful and didn't want to be useless. That's why I created the list of the things you better work on. So let's start. No, kidding, actually, this is my wish list for the new year. For the Dead Moroz or Santa Claus, I don't care, I just need it. And I know it's a bit early, but it's kind of tough list, so they need some time to do that. And actually, because of you, this list became a bit larger, because I spotted some things in your speech I liked a lot, and I want to get it as well. So first of all is the ability to prepare the speech in the short period of time, because you actually prepared the speech in a very short period of time. We know that. Another thing is your acting skills, because the one part of your kind of task for this project was gestures, vocal varieties. So the gestures, it was with the face, it was with the palms, with the arms, it was playing, arting, so it was everything. Another part was, by the way, the vocal variety. So it was, the speech was, volume was good, it was slow pace, high pace, so like high pitch, so everything. So the project is done, absolutely. I like also the structure. So it was clear, opening, questions on the way, structure 1, 2, 3, and the finish. Sense of humor, I'd like to have it as well. Perfect. What else? Eye contact. Yeah, so I proceeded in the res, so you covered it as well. But I also asked Marcus forever. Some things for you. It's kind of present. You take it or you can leave it. So I still spotted that for some reason, I don't know why, it's kind of second time you're so good. You won the prize already, so it's yours. But you still was a bit nervous. And when you get nervous, you kind of start speaking faster. And you kind of, your connection with the audience a bit kind of breaks, because you kind of hold the audience very kind of good, question them, kind of make the pauses, kind of allow them kind of to react. But when you're nervous, you kind of start speaking faster. I actually, when I kind of get nervous, I look at the Kate, the face. I use Kate, so you can use her as well. So she will be very useful in this case. We are supposed to take to say about the movements. Like we should use the whole stage, but it's up to you actually. And subject point. Your speech is very informative. A lot of information, and especially when you speak fast, it's kind of bullets of humor. So killing the audience. Maybe you want to kind of dose it. And it's not kind of the stretch goals, kind of the wish. I think you have all the capabilities to do some speech, like when you not just tell to the audience, ask the questions, but probably communicate with the audience. When you ask something, they tell you something, you make the joke. You have a perfect sense of humor, so you can do that. Like maybe something persuasive. And also, I'm eager to see the speech on which you worked more than 3 days. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now I call upon our third and last evaluator. To give the expeditious evaluation.
Yes, thank you so much. Be grateful, be happy. This is exactly how I'm trying to live this life. Dear Toastmasters, dear Mr. Evaluator, dear Olga, what I love most of all is your structure, the structure of your speech. It was absolutely clear beginning. You explain what exactly to be grateful for, how you can practice it. The next stage, body, when you actually added a value to your speech, telling your personal stories, how you, in your daily life, practice this wonderful practice, right? And it was very clear conclusion. So well done. Second, that I really like most of all also, this is a Q&A session. You manage it really well. It was a lot of, I didn't count to be honest, but 5 or 6 questions. And what I love most of all, you asked beforehand all the audience to ask your questions. In this case, all audience were trying to create questions while you were talking. However, we are all here, Toastmasters, constantly learning, and I want to highlight some suggestions. And the first suggestion would be about your vocal variety, about your voice. Your voice, it seems to me, was very flat, the same. It wasn't any so whispering or some on the contrary loud, you can say something. So next time try to make your vocal variety wider. And the second thing that I would like to suggest is about your posture. I'm also doing right now the same stuff, but next time try to not to be so tense. Your posture was tense and your hand was doing, isn't it, the same stuff with me. So next time try to relax maybe a little bit and maybe make more movement on the stage. So overall, well done. Your project accepted. Especially I like structure, wonderful structure, and Q&A session, it was wonderful. However, next time try to work more with your vocal variety, with your voice, and with your posture and your presence on the stage. You're well done.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ekaterina, Madam President. And now I call upon the report from our grammarian, Miles.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. And for the word of the day, expeditiously, it's a tie between yourself and Martin. Both of you used it once. Congratulations. As grammarian, I find the role fascinating because I'm a native English speaker in Canada. And the more I experience Toastmasters in other countries who are using English, the more I realize, wow, what a strange language English is. Now, why is English the most widely spoken language on the planet? That's a good question, because the English were actually just basically a tribe on the islands of what is now called the United Kingdom, yet the Scots, the Scottish people in the north, they spoke a different language, completely different language. The old Irish, which is still used, is a very different language. So interestingly, I don't know the reason, but we all are learning English. My great-grandfather on my father's side, I wish I could emulate him. He was born in Crimea, and he spoke Russian, German, and Turkish. according to information I have. Interesting. And so I admire all of you who are speaking another language or a third language, or maybe even more. So take everything I say with an appreciation of how much I appreciate your efforts learning the English language. So Tanya, I believe you said in your speech, one time a day. Grammatically, that's fine, one time a day, but a native speaker would probably say once a day. But you're not grammatically incorrect. It's just some of these things, what I'm pointing out, are not so much grammatical errors, but if you wanted to sort of be able to make people think you're this from this nation or that nation, you'll say things somewhat differently. Pronunciation is interesting. Someone said giver as opposed to giver. But I have fun with my wife because this word raspberry, I don't know why we can't say raspberry. But for some reason in English, we'll say raspberry. The P is for some reason silent. Another example, just a couple more. Pronunciation, Daniil, you said good as opposed to good. And you know, it reminded me, I was recently at a concert and this Canadian singer, songwriter, Alan Frew, was actually born in Scotland, and he's the lead singer of Glass Tiger. I've shared some of that music with you. And they were he said, food. I had some good food, where and his bandmates poked fun at him because we would just say food. But there's just these little differences, which actually make it really interesting to listen to different accents from around the world. So I wouldn't be too concerned about correcting things. Ekaterina, you might want to work on the word this. This is the case, because like many Russians, you'll say in this case, this versus this. So might be challenging. Maybe it's because in Russian, you don't use the TH very much. Anyway, some suggestions. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Mr. Grammarian, for that wonderful report. And I'll call upon the timer's report.
Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh, I don't correctly. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Can you see me? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, I would say actually, I'm not a perfect time manager myself, but I've been trying to do my best. So, and I have drawn the conclusion that today, almost everything went due to the plan. Yeah, there were some delays, like some technical issues, and it's inevitable. It can happen. It's life. Yeah, I would say the most punctual person, in my opinion, was Valeria Pogorelova. Like, she was like, I was just shocked. Like, it took her 7 minutes, like 7 minutes and 2 seconds, you know. I would say this was the perfect, yeah. I mean, she just fit in the time. And I would say the most lengthy people, if I can call them like that, I hope no offense. Yes, these were Miles and Daniel, yeah, really lengthy, but I guess, guys, I can justify like your lengthiness, if you can say like that. That's, I don't know, you kind of had a lot to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now for my General Evaluator report. The meeting started slightly behind time, and I know people are busy. We had to wait for some roll takers that were not on time. That made us start 6 minutes behind time. In Toastmasters, we endeavor to start on time and finish on time. The guests were greeted when the meeting started, and introduced to the meeting. Thank you for that, Madam President. The meeting then moved on to the main segment where the Toastmaster of the day took over and she introduced the theme of the meeting, literature of our life. And throughout the meeting, she brought out this theme with the questions that she asked every role taker. Did the Toastmaster make sure that the podium was attended between each role? The Toastmaster endeavored to keep the podium speaking area engaged throughout, but I noticed one or two speakers that ran off the stage before the Toastmaster could get there, shake their hand, and usher them off the stage. It's advised that you wait for the Toastmaster to come back, shake your hand, and then you can leave the stage so that the stage is not left unoccupied at any one time. I don't know how many people are in the meeting. Now I can see a few, but I did not hear a lot of applause. The Toastmaster of the day should lead the applause. Encourage the participants in the meeting to clap for every speaker before and after the delivery. That encourages the speaker a lot. Concerning the fluidity of the meeting, at the beginning, there was a bit of confusion about the first speaker. I was not in the room. I don't know what it was, but that lost us some time. Advise Toastmaster of the day, if the first speaker cannot speak, immediately make a change, which you finally did. Let the second speaker begin speaking. We don't lose much time. A little comment regarding the business session when opening the meeting. I don't know if you take any minutes. I expected the president would lead a parliamentary session where she confirms the minutes of the previous meeting, take any apologies, take officers' reports or announcements. Maybe the vice president public relation has some announcement to make for the club. That should be allowed in the business session. Thank you, Valeria, Anna, and Olga. Wonderful speeches. I was entertained, I was educated, I was inspired. Great speeches there. Our speech evaluators, you gave your evaluation, which were uplifting and also value adding. You use the sandwich method. You start with encouraging the speaker, congratulating them for taking the stage. Then you move on to making suggestions of improvement. And again, you end with an uplifting message for the speaker. What I'd like to have seen is the evaluators introducing the speaker before they speak. That's another approach that we have in my club. The Toastmaster of the day introduces the evaluator, who introduces the speaker. This gives the evaluator the opportunity to tell us about the project objective of the speaker's project. Doesn't have to be long. One sentence will do. When giving the feedback, I noticed an exchange between one evaluator and one speaker. In Toastmasters, we use the tell and sell method, where the evaluator gives the evaluation, the speaker just listens. That makes it efficient. You only have 2 to 3 minutes to give your evaluation. If you start back and forth with the speaker, you'll not be able to give a good evaluation within the time allotted, 2 to 3 minutes. Mr. Grammarian, Miles, well done. You made the word of the day, which I can still see as part of your name on Zoom. That's an innovative way of keeping the word exposed for the members to see and remember to use it. But unfortunately, only 2 of us used the word of the day. You had a placard that you're showing. If you could do that more often and ask to be to be yes. And the speakers will remember to use the word of the day. Madam Timer, you forgot to explain the timing signals at the beginning of the meeting. Remember to do that. We had 2 categories of speeches. It would have been good at the beginning of the meeting for you to explain. We have 5 to 7 minutes. For the 5-minute speeches, at 5 minutes, I'll raise the green flag. At 6 minutes, I'll raise the yellow flag. At 7 minutes, I'll raise the red flag. After that, speaker has 30 seconds to finish. Then you had a longer speech, 15 to 20 minutes. You had the opportunity to explain the timing protocols for the longer speech. You should time every segment of the meeting. I noticed that we took a 5-minute break when we were already 30 minutes behind time, according to the agenda. As timer, you should time every segment of the meeting. I could not see the general meeting, but it's recommended that the timer sits next to the Toastmaster of the day. That way you can exchange and advise the Toastmaster of the day when we are running behind time, and you can advise the Toastmaster of the day to cut or shorten some segments so that we capture the time. Related to that, Table Topics Master took a really long time, very many questions, despite the fact that we are behind time. An opportunity for the timer to advise the Toastmaster of the day to shorten the session, have 2 or 3 speakers so that we can catch up on time. Topics Master did excellent to ask people to volunteer, apart from 1 speaker who was volunteered by another speaker. Nevertheless, that was very well done. Just like in the main segment of the meeting, the Table Topics Master can encourage the audience to clap for every Table Topics speaker before and after they speak. All in all, I've thoroughly enjoyed this meeting. I'm currently learning French, so I know the challenge that people can have speaking a 3rd or 4th language, and I applaud you for having this English Toastmasters Club in Russia. I enjoyed every speech. I could understand everything, and I encourage you to continue using the Toastmasters method to improve your communication and your leadership skills. You also brought in people from other countries, Miles, myself. I noticed there are also people from other countries within the meeting, and this cross-pollination enables us to achieve the mission of the club, to provide an environment where speakers can become better communicator leaders, leading to greater self-master. I give you back the meeting.
We'll try to be very quickly so that we catch on time.
Yeah, please.
Anastasia Gribenyuk, in her speech said that at her job she is also ahead of some activity. Miles said that he would recommend to read this book, which is I think his wife's initiative. Pride and Prejudice. I think you have enough for both. Then, how do Americans and Canadians turn the sentence into a question?
And ha.
Yes, right. Anna Gonzalez said that she likes to buy books for children, which she reads at a supermarket.
What's the question? Was that the question?
Then Anastasia Gribenyuk said that she sold She sold your Harry Potter collection on a correct. I think Samira was the first. Samira was the first. Samira, I think Samira. And then Valeria said that at some point in her life she wished to change her nationality.
Mexican.
Mexican. Olga was asked how many books she thought was appropriate for a person to read in a year. How many are there?
As many as possible.
Correct. Then Olga also said that gratefulness should be differentiated from what?
Gratitude. Oh, okay, she was.
Yes.
She already have one.
You have a sweet too, yeah.
And then Tatiana. Okay, Tatiana said that she was asked which character she associates herself with from Dostoevsky's
Any
character.
Two of them.
And then the same question was addressed to Helena Ryzhkova.
Lina.
Oh, sorry, Lina.
Lina.
And she answered it was a who?
What?
Correct. Then Valeria's table topic session was about a character as well. Yes. That's all.
Wow.
I think we can discuss the rest of.
Yeah. Send some here also.
Thank you. And now the most exciting part of our meeting. This is the presentation of the blogs. And first of all, I would like to invite Anna Gonzalez on the stage because if I understand right, Anna, this completes the level 4, right? Congratulations. Can you take a photo, please?
Five, there's five, yeah.
That's it. Congratulations. Well done. And our best table topic speaker is this. What do you think? Lina!
Oh my gosh, for real? Oh,
Yes,
thank you so
for
much. I'm so
real.
happy. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, very good. I'm so happy. Wow, that's cool.
Now that's it. I suppose next meeting will be 20th of December here. And it will be New Year celebration, something. We will have fun, definitely. A lot of stars, Toastmaster stars are invited, and we have our own stars. So the last thing, let's take a photo, right?
Yeah.
Woo!
Let's unpin this, this unpinking so we can see it.
Yeah, also online audience. Thank you so much. So who's going to?
I don't know when, I don't know where. I'm gonna get you back.
I was shocked.
You were the first one, otherwise you wouldn't have come.
You know, when I heard the first question, I said, this is not for mine.
I literally could have thought of any other question, any other question, anytime.
I was like, wow.
Maybe we can.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're waiting for someone?
Yeah, we are waiting. Daniel.
Oh.
Okay, let's take
Maybe we
a
can put
selfie,
it on
something.
the timer.
It's okay. I can do it.
Let's get closer.
Closer to each other. Yeah, because I'm going and
All right, all right.
Yeah, thank you. Your final audience. Yeah, thank you.
Thank
so
you,
much.
guys.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you. Let me take a picture first.
You?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Miles. Thank you, Musa.
Thank you. So
Here, guys. Yeah.
maybe I'll visit your club.
Oh,
Yes, yes, yes.
I'd like to join your, I'd like to visit your club, Miss Al. I'll see you. Are you online?
Yes, send me your email. I'll send you a link.
Okay.
Maybe I need to write it.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, thank you for this role.
So
And you can
long.
count on me like next time, it's okay. And in any role like you need, maybe the time of grammarian, I mean, I would be happy
Yes,
to
we
do so.
will. However, I'm not sure right now because we will have 5 speeches something. So when we would have 5 speeches for, we usually don't use any minor roles. So we don't.
Okay, but
have
in
it.
case you
But
just.
anyway, yeah.
For the
thank you
record.
so much.
Thank you so much. Have a nice, have a
I
good
got it.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Miss